Hey guys, William Boyette again, and today I want to talk about how to play the gaps. All right, I send out a trade alert, and when you guys go to buy or sell the next day, the thing's gapped way up or way down. And many of you ask, what should I do in this situation? And so today we're going to address that in this video, and I've actually put up a new tool that I'd like to introduce you to right now. And this is the Gap Research tool. So you can play with it and do your own research here, but this is the conclusions that we have come to, and now we are going to give you guidance on. And we're actually going to use today as an example. So many of you who had been in TZA, you're already stopped out and in cash, and you got an alert to buy TNA. Now, typically, the trading rules call that you just set your limit order to buy at that price or better. And as you know today, TNA gapped up 6% on May 8th. That's today, and it gapped up, and so your order didn't trigger, and it had not come back down to the buy price, so now you're still holding. Now, the original rules call for you to sell this at the end of the day, or I mean to buy this at the end of the day and get in, but now it's up about 10%. So under our new gap rules, you would come over here, and anytime your ETF gaps up or down by 5%, you can make an exception to our normal index trading strategy and draw down alert trading rules, and we're going to override it with these rules right here. So today we saw TNA gap up, and the rule is to buy at the open, sell at the close. So instead of waiting for our order to trigger at the close or during the day, we're just going to buy it at the open, because the odds are more than likely it's going to be higher at the close. Okay, so does that make sense? All right, so let me show you why this is so important. We're just going to come over here. I'm going to have TNA selected. We're going to go the last 3 years, and I'm going to hit submit. And you are going to see there was 753 trading days in the last 3 years. And out of those 753, 36 of them, or almost 5%, are having gaps. So that's 1 out of every 20 trade alerts is going to have a gap. But I'm going to click on show gaps here. Here's what's even more amazing. 36 trade alerts, and over here, take a look at these dates. These are all 2020. If we come all the way down, you can see there was only 5 gaps in the last 3 years before this coronavirus. Only 5 gaps. So this really wasn't that important. These gaps may not even occur when we're buying or selling. But as you see, in the last 2 months, we now have had 31 gaps. Just amazing amount of gaps. And so, we've all had to change the way we live, staying home and wearing masks and gloves. Well, now we got to change the way we trade. This is a whole new trading environment. So we're here to get you onto the right track and get you making more profit than ever before. And now, whenever you see your ETF gap up 5% or 5% down, then you can just come here and make these changes. Okay, these are the new rules that you will follow. Anything less than 5%, just follow the old index trading system rules. Make sense? There is a couple of other ways that you can play this and increase your profit. Okay, so one is, if we take a look at right here, it's telling us that if TNA gaps up 5%, we want to buy at the open, sell at the close. Same with TZA, same with TQQQ, okay? And then over here, we find gap down, there's only one, TQQQ, buy at the open, sell at the close. So there's 4 plays here whenever we see a gap up or down. And the idea here is you can make a day trade if you have some extra funds. Why not just buy this ETF at the open and then sell it at the close? So what sort of profits can you make on this? Well, let's come over here to TNA. We're going to click all time, okay, right here. We're going to submit it. And you're going to see that for TNA, there was 130 gaps at the open, and of those, 55 were a gap up. All right, so 55 and 11 or some years, but let's come down here and look at the returns. What we have on here is we can see out of those 55, 36 times the TNA went higher by the end of the day, and 19 times it went down. So you have a much 60% more chance of it's going to be higher, which is why you want to buy at the open and then sell at the close. Makes sense? So we take these 36 times, we times it times the average gain, and that comes out to 192. We take the 19, we times the 4.32 loss, comes out to 82. That gives us a 110.91 profit. So if you had invested $100 on each of these 55 gaps, okay, you would have made 110.91. So that's 110%, 111% gain on your money. Not bad, 111%. And it took you only 55 trading days, and that's about 2 months, right? Maybe 2.5 months. So you're only in the market 2.5 months out of 11 years, and you made 111%. So you're not going to get rich over this over 11 years, but if you can double these little extra investments, you know, that's fantastic. So the average daily return comes out to 2%. So on average, this is like a 2% gain. So every day you trade this, you get 2%. If you can do this just 10 times in the next month, that's an extra 20%. Make sense? So that's a quick little play that you can make while you're, even if you got stopped out of TZA and you're sitting in cash and you need something to do, you know, keep an eye on these little 5% gaps up for TNA, TZA, and TQQ. Keep an eye up for a gap down of 5% for TQQQ. And you can do this little play. It'll give you a little extra action to add. And while you're sitting in cash with an 8% loss on TZA, if you could do 4 of these, you have your 8% back. Does that make sense? And so this is a great way to add to your trading. Now, here's another idea that will increase your returns with the index trading system or with the drawdown strategy is, let's say you're not looking to buy or sell, but you're already in the ETF, okay? So we have some of these like SQQQ. If it gaps up 5% at the open, then you should sell it at the open. So if you're holding it, why not sell it and then buy it back at the close? Make sense? So it's like you stayed in the index trading strategy or the drawdown the whole time, but you sat out and made a quick little extra profit. So let's see how much that would have been. SQQQ, we want to take a look at that. Now it's 0.99, so it's about 1%. So it's not the greatest return, but it's something that you can do because you're already holding anyway, so why not do something like that? Now, here's a better way, okay, because we're looking at SQQ with a 5% gap up. But now let's say SQQ gaps down 5%, okay? So there was 15 of those, and 4, it went higher, but 11 times it went much lower. And on an average, it went 3% lower. So if you're holding SQQQ and you see that it gaps down more than 5%, sell it at the open right away and then buy it back at the close, and you'll probably be able to get back at an average of 3%. So you added an extra 3% profit. Or actually, you actually saved yourself a 3% of additional losses, either way you look at it. But that's the way it's going to come out. And so that's why on our main page right here, we have SQQ, sell at the open and buy at the close. So anything that says sell and buy, and only one over here, SQQ, he's the only one that you would sell at the open and buy at the close with a gap up of 5%. But when things gap down 5%, both TNA, TZA, and SQQ, if you're holding any of these in the index trading system or the drawdown, you can just sell it at the open, wait till the end of the day and buy it back. And you've really, according to these numbers, if you do that enough times, you'll come out ahead and make some profit. So I hope you like these new little rules. They're going to be right here on the Gap Research page. So anytime you're looking at the markets and you see that they gapped up at the open, or you see the futures, they're up, the index is up, 1 or 2%, which means our ETFs are going to gap 5 or 6%, then you can come here and get ready and get an idea of what you should do to see if you can make a little bit of profit that next day. If you want to play with it and check out all the results of how I came up with these conclusions, you can use the tool right here and do that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Just make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, and you'll get updated right away when I put some more of these videos out. All right, here's to your success.